Hello and welcome to Introduction to Epistemology, and today we are going to discuss three great theories of truth. So the theories of truth have been classified into three types. One is correspondence theory, second is coherence theory, and third is pragmatism. And today we are going to discuss correspondence theory. This theory is very familiar and famous among empiricists, but we need to understand what is the difference between empiricist and rationalist, because they are two different kind of philosophies. So when we talk about empiricists, they are talking about knowledge in terms of experience, and they always discuss that there is no such thing as innate knowledge, and knowledge always come from the experience using five senses. Whereas when we talk about rationalist approach, they are talking about knowledge in terms of the objects. They're talking about innate knowledge, where they're talking about knowledge in terms of the forms like mathematical objects, concepts like triangle, equality, or they're talking about moral concepts like goodness, beauty, virtue, or they're talking about the colors. But when we talk about correspondence theory, we're talking about more focus on the empiricist behavior. And if you read the second sentence, that correspondence theory proposes that a proposition is true if it corresponds to the fact. And I have given the example, like for example, the apple is sitting on the table. It can be true only if the apple is in fact sitting on the table. So it could be explained in terms of Thomas Aquinas version, where I mentioned in the brackets like a judgment is said to be true when it conforms to the external reality. So when we talk about correspondence theory, we are talking about the experience and realistic in that context, like the environment, the external environment. For example, if the apple I already mentioned is sitting on the table, it means that apple is present on the table. So that is an explanation in terms of the proposition which is true. Or if the thing that is said to be true, if it is really present in the external environment. For example, it's also mentioned in the last, like also leave the room for the idea, and true may apply to people, true friends as well as to thoughts. So it means if that thought is true, if the object is true, then the proposition is true. So there are two main concepts in correspondence theory. One is the object based, like for example any object like apple, like the glass of water, or it could be explained in terms of fact based, which is more prominent, and fact is based upon the experience. That's why it is very popular among empiricists, because empiricists believe that knowledge comes with the experience or with five senses. So the correspondence theory have two different views. So what are the strengths of correspondence theory? The strength of correspondence theory is that it is simple in nature, and then it is more appealing to the common sense. So in order to prove that, for example, I mentioned the slide that it is raining today. It's true according to the correspondence theory, because when we look out of the window, we can verify that the raining, and we can verify that it's really raining. So according to Descartes, I have never doubt about truth, because it seems a notion so transcendently clear that nobody can ignore of it. The word truth is in the strict sense denote the conformity of the thought with the object. So this have said by Descartes, and he also mentioned that when we talk about truth, it is evidently truth, and we cannot deny that truth. For example, if you see the previous example, like the rainfall, if you can see outside raining, we can clearly indicate that okay, it's raining, and we can verify that by looking them. So it means that corresponding theory we using our senses like our eyes, and we already mentioned that empiricists believe the theory, the knowledge that can be get from the experience using senses. So correspondence theory, we need to think that we are using our senses, and using our senses we are getting the knowledge. But we have some weakness like mathematical application, where rationalists are more powerful, and rationalists explain in terms of objects, in terms of mathematical objects. So when we talk about mathematical application, correspondence theory face some difficulty. For example, when we talk about the factual reality, like 5 plus 2 is 7 or 2 plus 2 is 4, so we need to find out that, for example, as mentioned, we might point to the practical example such as 5 pencil plus 2 pencil leaves you 7 pencils. So what is true in the original proposition is nothing about the pencil, but we certainly recognize that there is no such object as 5 2. So what the authors or philosophers is talking about, that correspondence theory does not apply or does not implement in the mathematical application. When we talk about 5 and 2 is nothing. There is no object of 5 or there is no object of 2. But when we add 5 pencil or 5 pen or 5 we can say that glass of water, so then it makes sense. So we have to understand that to explain the mathematical terms, we need to apply the rationalist theory, and then that can explain these concepts, because in correspondence theory it is too theoretical to explain that concept. So we will discuss the next theory in next lecture. Thank you so much and have a great day.